Welcome to B&B Movie Reviews. The Academy Awards are right around the corner.
And we're here to break down all the major categories for you. Stay right there. B&B is up next. Welcome to B&B. As we are coming up close to the Academy Awards, we're going to take a look at all the above-the-line categories and give you our thoughts on who should win and who will win the coveted awards on Oscar night. But first, we both will discuss a below-the-line category being presented at the Academy Awards. All right.
Oh, yeah, Bryan. Before we even get to that, I would like to know how you're feeling about the Academy Awards in general. Well, is this like a great selection of movies? Are you mid about it? Or?
I'm mid about it because going to our previous episode, we talked about our top 10 of the year, and we had mentioned that at least for us, I know a lot of people said 2024 was a great year, a good year.
Yeah, but we're a couple of Grinches.
Yeah. I wasn't really, 2024 was okay. I really didn't have movies that I was really that passionate about with my own personal top 10 list. But and I kind of think that's kind of reflected a little bit
This
here.
is why I love the Academy Awards. This is why I love the Oscars. Yes, it's all nonsense, right? It's a voting body. They have their own biases, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But it gets me to reevaluate a bunch of movies. It gets me to watch a bunch of movies. And the conversation around the Academy Awards is what's great about watching movies.
So we can continue that conversation just talking about movies.
So I find myself going into the 2025 Oscars pretty psyched about cinema, maybe in a way that I wasn't when we did our end of the year episode.
I like that approach. I'm hoping that by the time Oscar night comes, I can be on that same.
All right.
But I am excited, though. I am excited. I love going through
what's the below-the-line category that interests you the most?
Mine's is visual effects. I know I talked about that last year because I was really psyched about Godzilla -1, and that did end up winning. But I always am interested in seeing where the advancement of technology is going to end up going.
And I know another reason why you selected this category as well.
I mean, it's got my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, the only time that movie got recognized is in this category.
I know. So at least it is an Oscar-nominated film. So I'm gonna read off the categories. For Best Visual Effects, we have Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like when you're talking about the Academy Awards, the front runner for this feels like it's Dune Part 2. Which I'm not too upset about because it was one of my favorite movies of the year. Yeah,
I think what's great about Dune Part 2 in the visual effects world is that, it does a great blending of the practical, the visual, and the special effects.
Yeah, and I think that, but also I think sometimes that, I don't want to say it could do a disservice to it, but it feels like sometimes the visual effects don't stand out as much. But I think that's
a compliment, though, right?
That is a
compliment. I agree with you 100%. It's not as showy as maybe some of these other nominations.
Yeah, but I feel like the voters are going to look for those showy type of visual effects. But I really wanted to pick this category because I wanted to talk about the two primate movies. Better Man, which was nominated, and I think the way, even though that movie is a little bit more artistically kind of driven visually, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was a movie that I liked, but I didn't love it. But I will say that I think when you're talking about the advancement of technology, what that movie was able to do with how they created a lot of those CG apes, especially coming from that original trilogy into this movie, I thought it was just astounding to see.
Yeah, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I think, though, because of the hard work that was done on the previous Planet of the Apes movies of the new modern era, we could get a movie like Better Man, right? Better Man, you needed all the labor of the last few years. So you could just throw one CGI character in a movie that you're really wondering, well, why is Robbie Williams being played by an ape? And it's only until you go on that emotional journey that you see why we needed a primate, something to empathize with. Because if we were watching Robbie Williams do all this heinous stuff, we might not be so forgiving.
Yeah, you probably would have checked out. So who do you think will win, and who do you want to win?
You know, Dune Part 2 did not get as much love as we were anticipating based on how well Dune Part 1 did. I think, you know, a few years ago after Dune Part 1 did not win, we went, well, they're going to give it to Dune Part 2. But then Denis Villeneuve is talking about, you know, another Dune movie. So maybe we'll now give it to that movie when that comes out, Return of the King style. That being said, this is one of the strongest categories, I think, that Dune Part 2 has, and I think it will win.
Okay, I think it will win as well.
I want Better Man to win. But
I mean, I would love Better Man or Kingdom to win, but I do think that Dune will win. So before we get out of this segment, I know you had a category that you wanted to talk about, production design.
Yeah.
So let's read off the category for Best Production Design. We have The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. So what is it about production design that really fascinates you?
Well, I feel like the further we get into a Hollywood where everything is blue screened and blue screened poorly, I crave production design. You know, we just saw Captain America Brave New World, and like, where was that movie filmed?
On a backstage in London somewhere, maybe?
Sets, man. Give me sets.
I'm with you.
And so you look at The Brutalist, you look at Conclave, and you're like, that's tangible, right? The work that is being done by the production designer there and the set decorator is top notch.
Feels lived in.
It feels like a place, right? And I want to go to places when I watch movies.
Yeah, it takes me back to the '90s and the early 2000s, where it's a Hollywood of movies that we just don't have anymore. And you know, seeing this list and those movies, when you talk about Nosferatu and the Brutalist.
Let's talk about Nosferatu, right? Like, that movie was made for a fraction of the budget of these MCU movies, but that looks like a place that I can go to, right? Like, that grounded the Nosferatu story and, you know, leaned into its spookiness, and it just felt like it just felt like a place.
No, I mean, atmospheric, and that's what that movie does. Like, the production design adds to the atmosphere of that movie. So, what is your pick? Who do you think will win, and who do you want to win?
Well, I love Dune Part 2. I would like to see Dune Part 2 take it, and it could very well take it here. Nosferatu is actually probably my favorite pick, but this is the Brutalist category to lose.
I mean, I agree. I think Dune Part 2, I mean, I think the production design, even though it's out in the desert, but like you say, it feels tangible. And also Nosferatu, I love the atmosphere of that movie, but yeah, you're right, The Brutalist might end up taking it.
I think it will. Yeah.
All right, so those are our thoughts and our predictions for the below the line categories for visual effects and production design. When we return, we'll talk about the supporting roles for actor and actress. Stay right there.
Today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. A victory that is there for the taking. Grab it.
Now that was a great halftime speech. Let's go win.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
All right, welcome back to the B&B Show. It's time to talk about the Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress categories of the Academy Awards. Bryan, I think we have an actual lock in the Best Supporting Actor category.
In this one?
I think so.
Okay, let me read off the category. Let me read it off here. All right. So, actor in a supporting role, we have Yura Borisov in Nora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in The Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice.
All really wonderful performances.
Okay.
I like all of them.
But you feel like this category is a lock.
This is a lock.
Okay, talk to me.
All right, get your bookie out.
Okay.
All right. You're placing bets.
All right.
It's Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain.
That's what I feel like, too. It's been Kieran Culkin during this whole
ride
season.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You know, now as we get closer to the Academy Awards, they're talking about, there could be an upset. There could be an upset.
There are going to be upsets this year. I think this is one of the most up in the air Academy Awards that we've had in a long time. But not here.
Now, I love Kieran Culkin in The Real Pain, and The Real Pain was literally almost in my top 10. It was up until we did that show. And I think he does give a great performance. Now, a lot of people's criticism against Kieran Culkin is that it's not dissimilar to the character that he plays on
Succession.
And
sure.
I never watched that show.
Yeah.
Still, I think he gives a great performance.
And I don't feel like did the Academy watch that show. You know, I think the acting branch probably did, but did all the other branches? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that he is a completely watchable character. He's a charismatic jerk. Charismatic jerks generally do well at the Academy Awards.
That's true.
And,
That's
you know,
true.
there's a lot of legacy behind Kieran Culkin as well. This has been a long climb to get to this point.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be rewarded for it. Now, Honora could have a moment this year.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because, and we didn't get a chance to really review and talk about Honora. And I think Yura Borisov gives a very subtle performance that is really.
Does anything subtle happen in Honora?
Well, I mean, he's the most subtle thing about that movie, really. And I think that speaks a lot to his performance that he's giving in that movie.
Yeah, but it's a loud performance, right? Like maybe it's
From him?
subtle. I think so. Like he has these, you know, he is the rich, bratty kid. Oh my gosh, I was mixing it up. No, I got confused.
Yeah,
you're right.
No, this is the other.
No,
the
you're
bald
wrong.
guy with the.
I know what I'm talking about. I'm an expert, Bryan.
Hey, this is
talking about
all
the
good.
bodyguard character. How terrible of me.
No, but speaking.
He is a quieter role.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a quieter role.
So I don't know, but I do like because a bit of an understated role, and I like what he brings to that role. But you're right. I think Kieran Culkin
and the emotional arc of Yuri Borisov's character, like the whole movie kind of lands on him.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Now that I know who I'm talking about.
It is quite all right. Who else? Well, you know what? So who do you think will win?
Oh, I like Kieran Culkin's going to win.
Is he who you want to win?
Yeah, he's who I want to win, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I would say so too. Let's go to actress in a supporting role. Let me go ahead and read that all for you. So actress in a supporting role, we have Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez.
So I think once upon a time, this was also a lock. Yeah. Zoe Saldana was and could still win for Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
But that film also could be going down with the ship.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy around that movie right now. It seems like a lot of people might be abandoning that ship.
Yeah, I feel like if anyone should learn anything, if you have hateful and terrible opinions,
keep it to yourself.
You should probably keep it to yourself, and also, you know, get help, seek help, and delete your social media. Please. And you know, Netflix is never going to allow that to happen ever again.
No.
But you know, will Zoe Saldana catch some strays as a result?
Possibly. To me, it feels like it's between her and Ariana Grande.
But I think it really does come down to Ariana Grande and Zoe Saldana. And if I was betting, I think Zoe is still going to get it.
I mean, Zoe is loved in the industry, and a lot of people would love to see her win. It's unfortunate that, you know, she has to kind of get stuck in the mix of everything that's happening with Amelia Perez. I'm not the biggest fan of that movie.
I mean, it's already such a complicated
I know, even
conversation.
even without that, and we'll get to that maybe when we talk about Best Picture, but I love Zoe, and I'm be rooting for her, so that's my pick as well. So that's who you're picking?
That's who I think's going to win. Is that who I want to win?
Who you want to win?
I think I want Ariana Grande to win.
That'd be cool to see.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to see. Yeah. So, all right. So those are our picks and predictions for supporting actor and actress. So when we return, we get to best actor and actress in a leading role. So stay right there.
Every minute counts in a poison emergency. That's why Poison Help is standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in over 100 languages. Save Poison Help as a contact in your phone today. Call your local Poison Center at 1-800-222-1222.
All right, so we are back, and we are here to discuss the Best Actor and Actress in a Leading Role. All right, Brad.
Yes.
So let's get to actor in the leading role. Let me go ahead and read this off. We have actor in the leading role, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
So this is another category where I felt like there was a lock at one point during the race.
Oh, you did?
And that is no longer the case. I think Adrian Brody, for the longest time, he was riding the Brutalist train. Now, that film also got a little bit of controversy with the AI fiasco.
Yeah.
His Hungarian being manipulated by AI.
Yeah.
Brady Corbet had to come out and issue a statement about it. How effective that statement is, I don't know. How effective that controversy is. Like, is that a big deal? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's going to become more and more of a big deal, I think.
You think so?
I do. I do. The way that Gen AI is being used in performances, I think will be a big deal in the very near future.
Okay.
That being said, Adrian Brody is still probably the front runner in this category.
But for my money, man, and I talked about this after we saw it, I love Timothy Chalamet in The Complete Unknown.
Yeah, and I think he's Adrian Brody's biggest competition in this category. And if you look at the Vegas odds, they are tied right now.
Okay.
You know, A Complete Unknown is the movie that had actual financial success. A lot of people went out to it. It had critical reception, a positive critical reception as well. So if you're looking for like an old Hollywood Oscar winner, A Complete Unknown has a lot of it and could very well go to Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet, however, has not been doing the campaign trail the way that Adrian Brody has. Adrian Brody has been at every event, shaking hands, kissing babies.
There you go.
Timothy Chalamet hasn't been present at all. He had like one appearance on Saturday Night Live, and that was it.
He's great on Saturday Night Live.
He was. Would I prefer Ray Fiennes over Timothy Chalamet?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. And Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing.
I know, but it's just not getting the
so
traction.
bloody good.
I know, and he's great in everything, and I want him to see, because I mean, Coleman Domingo is just so great. He's so likable. I mean, you see him on the red carpet. I mean, he's probably one of the most fashionable people that you'll ever see on the red carpet. But I root for him, so I'm hoping that if this is not his year, at some point he'll.
What about Sebastian Stan as our president?
Dude, I haven't seen The Apprentice. I've heard that he's great in it. I mean, I know there's a complicated, kind of.
I also have not seen The Apprentice because I just cannot bring myself to look at that guy, even in a fictional setting.
I know. But I mean, I like that Sebastian Stan is getting recognition because I like him as an actor.
I wish he was getting recognition for A Different Man, right? The better movie. Well, the movie that I saw.
So quickly, who's your pick? Who you want to win and who you think will win?
It's tight. I really do think it comes down to Adrian Brody and Timothy Chalamet. I am going to guess that Adrian Brody will continue to actually claim gold here. But Timothy Chalamet might beat him. And Timothy Chalamet is the person that I would want to win in this category.
Yeah, I want Timothy Chalamet to win this, but I do feel like Adrian Brody, this is kind of his to lose. So yeah, let's go to actress. So actress in the leading role, we have Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon in Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison in Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. This category, I think it comes down to Demi Moore and Mikey Madison.
Yeah, we know Carla Gascon.
Well, yes. I mean, this is
not
really,
winning.
to me, it feels like after everything that's happened, this is a race between four.
Right. Which does make it interesting on the ballot. I think it could create an upset. Mikey Madison did just win the BAFTA.
She did win the BAFTA,
the Academy has a much larger international voting body than it ever has, which is why we're getting so many international movies in these categories now. I could see Mikey Madison taking it. And again, I could see Honora having kind of a sweep. It could swing that way.
I would not be mad at that because we'll talk about this in the next segment when we get to Best Picture. Honora is a movie, I know we talked about it briefly, we didn't review it on the show, but Honora is a movie that, since I've seen it, has stayed with me since I saw it. And I really kind of am thinking about those performances and that movie, the structure of it, a lot deeper.
And Mikey Madison is an actor that is unshakable. Like, think about the movies that we've already seen her in. Smaller roles in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Yep.
Like,
In
she's,
Scream.
she's barely in that movie, and like, I think about her end in that film a lot.
Yes.
Scream. I don't want to spoil Scream, but she gets to do so much.
Kind of similar
film.
to Once Upon a Time in
Correct,
Hollywood.
yes.
Yeah.
So I think Honora allows her to do a wide range. And that wide range is extremely watchable. And the middle scene, you know, when they come to get her and try to remove her from the house.
I want to talk about that in the next segment when it comes to directing. But yeah, and Demi Moore, I think this legacy, there's so much with Demi. So a part of me is also rooting for her, but I think between those two.
Yeah, Demi Moore is probably favored. She was favored for so long of the race, but I just feel like Mikey Madison has picked up a lot of steam. So that's who I want to win, Mikey Madison, and I'm going to say she will win.
Okay.
I think she will upset Demi Moore.
Okay, all right.
But we're recording this before the SAGs. So if Demi Moore gets a SAG, then Demi Moore is going to win.
That might shift, All right, so those are our picks and predictions for Best Actor and Actress. So when we return, we get into the big ones, Best Director and Best Picture. Stay right there.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the B&B show. It's time to talk about the two, I think, biggest categories of the Academy Awards, Best Director and Best Picture. Bryan, give me a rundown of the nominations in Best Director.
Here we go. All right, Best Director, we have Sean Baker and Honora Brady Corbet in The Brutalist.
I'm Brady.
No. James Mangold in A Complete Unknown. Jacques Audiard and Amelia Perez, and Coralie Fargeat. Farge in The Substance.
You did not take French.
I've heard, no, I haven't. Well, I did take two. I took 2
You did? Well, then you should be embarrassed.
Well, then I moved to Spanish, so I took French my first 2 years of high school.
I was German.
Really?
I was,
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, anyway. What are your opinions on this category, Bryan?
Director, I had mentioned this in the last segment before. I wanted to talk about Sean Baker. Sean Baker, now this is actually my first experience of any of his films.
Oh my goodness, you haven't seen Tangerine?
I haven't seen, and we talked about this on our It My podcast
We're
years
friends
ago. I know.
And you still haven't seen Tangerine?
I know. I haven't seen Tangerine. I haven't seen Red Rock. I haven't seen Florida Project. But I know of Sean Baker. I know. This is blasphemy.
I thought you liked movies.
I'm so sorry.
Tangerine. I don't want to go on a tangent about Tangerine.
I know about the movie, shot on the iPhone. His first movie.
Incredible looking film about 2 trans sex workers in Los Angeles. Talk about a propulsive cinematic experience.
I'll have to check that one out. But
you'll want donuts after.
Oh yeah, that's right, because they shot it at that donut. Yeah, because I've seen some behind the scenes where he talked about like that donut shop was pivotal.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get some donuts after this.
Yeah, because
all right, okay, you haven't seen it. You should be ashamed. Got it.
Thank you.
But you have seen Honora.
I have seen Honora.
Okay, all right.
And I mean, and going to what you were saying about the structure and the pacing of it, and you get to that middle section where you feel like that's just going to be a quick scene that's going to transition to the next half of the movie, and how you sit in that moment for like 20, 30 minutes.
So uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable, but I think that's the riveting thing about and another thing I wanted to mention about Sean Baker is like, as a director, the fact that he could create chaos in a scene and the way he's able to direct, like it doesn't feel staged.
Well,
and that's the thing I like about it.
Why I think people respond so positively towards Honora is it's one of those rare films that juggles like 19 tones.
Yeah.
You know, 1 minute you're laughing, 1 minute you're crying, 1 minute you're confused, 1 minute you're nauseous, another minute you're like full of vigor. Like it is such an exhilarating watch, right? And usually when you have so many tones in a movie, it kind of just collapses into nothing.
Yeah.
But this is a ride. Honora is a ride. It lands that ending. Fabulous script, fabulous performances, looks beautiful. Sean Baker, like this is his moment.
And I don't know if he's going to win it because a lot of people are talking about Brady.
Yeah, Brady Corbet.
Okay, I said that right?
Yeah, you know, directed like Vox Lux, right?
Yeah.
Like, really strange. Another movie that kind of juggles some interesting tones.
Yeah.
The Brutalist, you know, is a feast of a movie, 3.5 hours. Did every voting member find 3 hours and 35 minutes of their life to watch this thing?
And it's not an easy movie to get through. It's not, I mean, just the subject matter, the tone of it. It's not an easy movie for 3 hours and 40 minutes. That's a lot of movie.
Yeah, and Honora just clips.
Yeah,
right.
And that's long. That's not. That movie's over 2 hours as well.
And you have to think like, all right. Well, we're talking director. I don't want to jump too far ahead.
No.
But I think. You know, the DGAs have happened. You know,
and I think Honora
took
DGA,
Sean Baker.
So Sean Baker.
I want Sean Baker to win.
Yeah.
I would love to see Corley Forget win to The Substance.
I know.
Wouldn't that be a wonderful upset?
Yeah. To me, that feels like it would be in line with what we've gotten over the last couple of years with like.
And again, we have a larger international body than we've ever had.
You never know.
I think Sean Baker is going to win.
Yeah, that's who I want to win, and that's who I think will end up taking it, especially what we've seen in the DGAs and PGAs. Let's get the Best Picture.
Okay, here we go.
So the big one here. All right, so Best Picture, we have Honora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked.
There's only one movie there that I have no interest in, and that's Amelia Perez.
Yeah. And it's so funny because everybody thought that was going to be like the one.
The most nominations, 13 nominations this year, the same amount of nominations that Oppenheimer had last year. And I could still see a world where the Academy Awards is like, we don't go with, you know, what the woke mob wants. We do our own thing. We vote for Green Book, you know.
Oh, God.
That wasn't that long ago, right? So I could see Amelia Perez still winning. There is a universe where that happens. I think it has taken a big hit thanks to its leading actress, but it's still very much a possibility.
Yeah, to me, I feel like that this might be a two-way race between The Brutalist and Honora, and because of what we just talked about with the DGAs and the PGAs in that movie, and with Mikey Madison winning the BAFTAs, it has a strong. I think it has the momentum.
Well,
to
you have to think about the preferential ballot, right?
Well,
so you got to think about the people who are voting for the movies that don't have a chance of winning, right? So if you're an Academy voter and you put Nickel Boys and I'm Still Here as your number one. What is their number two? Is their number two The Brutalist? Is their number two Amelia Perez?
Yeah.
Is it Honora?
Yeah.
I don't actually have an answer for those.
Exactly.
Which makes this one of the most exciting Best Picture races in a long time.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how it's all going to fall in place. Yeah, I mean, A Complete Unknown, Wicked. I know a lot of people have been like really beating the drum for Wicked.
Yeah.
And so you never, again, with the preferential ballot, we don't know where it's going to fall.
Wicked's director, John M. Chu, was not nominated in Best Director. Is this a place where people might go like,
you don't know.
Could be like The Town,
with
Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah, the fact that he wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Oh no,
not The Town.
Argo. Yeah.
Same movie, right?
No. But yeah, no, he wasn't nominated, but that wins the Best Picture.
Yeah,
so you just never know how it's all going to play out. But which movie do you think will take it?
Look, I think the movie that I have the most love for is Dune Part 2.
Same. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think Dune Part 2 is going to win.
No.
It just hasn't been getting those key awards leading up to the Academy Awards. So we're just going to have to hope Denny gets it on his third Dune movie. I think Honora. Has past The Brutalist.
I know. I thought that it was going to be The Brutalist, but now I think the one that will win will be Honora, and that's the one that I'm hoping will take it is Honora as well. So, all right, the Academy Awards. So, the Academy Awards will be airing Sunday, March 2nd. So So if you're a movie fan, you can go ahead and watch the live broadcast, or you can just wait and see who wins on Twitter next day.
Yeah, see who wins between Brad and Bryan.
Yeah. Let us know who won.
Who was more accurate?
Exactly. All right, guys. So thank you for joining us on this latest episode of B&B Movie Reviews. Come be a part of the conversation. If you have questions, suggestions, feel free to email us at bnbmoviereviews@gmail.com. And with that, we will see you at the movies.